Folks, welcome to D's Games. Today I want to recommend to you some of the best Metroidvania games for beginners. If you even slightly know me, you'll know that Metroidvania games are everything to me, but there are a lot of them, and it can be quite daunting knowing where to begin. Let's get to it. First game on my list, Yoku's Island Express. I think this one is one that went a little bit more under the radar than the others because it didn't scream Metroidvania straight away. It's a pinball Metroidvania hybrid, which is a lot better than it sounds on paper. Bright, storybook graphics, calming music, low-stress gameplay. You basically can't die, so you can take as many tries as necessary to achieve your goal. Definitely not a traditional platformer, so maybe not the best introductory game if you're looking for that classic experience, but it's a great game to wind down with loads of fun characters, loads of fun little puzzles, just really nice, really wholesome, which you don't really get in this genre very often. Next up, Owboy. Beautiful pixel art style game, interesting characters, an engaging story. It's pretty low stakes like Yoku, where you can die, but the game is pretty generous with its checkpoints. Loads of fun puzzles that won't make you pull your hair out. While Owboy kind of falls loosely, again, on the definition of a true Metroidvania, it's more than enough to welcome anyone into the genre, introduce you to some of those core mechanics that you get in the more traditional games. Set in a world of floating islands above the clouds, you play as Otus, this young owl, amongst a race of humanoid owl-like people. You must go on a journey with some friends after your village is attacked by pirates. Along your journey, you need to backtrack, unlock more abilities to reach what you previously couldn't, just like a good old-fashioned Metroidvania. One of the most perfect introductions to the genre. As a follow-up to the Wonder Boy series, Monster Boy follows the journey of a young boy who's been turned into a pig, obviously. On his adventure to put an end to the curse on the land, he'll gain the ability to transform into loads of different animals, offering new abilities, letting you reach new areas. While the game, it can be difficult at times, it is fair and it's paced really well. If you know me, you know one of my biggest bugbears is when a game is difficult for the sake of being difficult. I love a challenge, but it's got to be fair. It's got to be a challenge that you can just naturally learn to overcome and get better at. You can explore the beautiful cartoon world, see all the colourful sights, and then head off to explore further than before in order to find the animal orbs and defeat the evil on the land. It's a classic feel to it, this one, and it's an absolute joy to delve into. Bloodstained. Now, this one is more classic in both its style and gameplay. It's essentially the spiritual successor to Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but with updated graphics, loads of quality of life improvements. It's not as easy as some of the others that I've mentioned, but it's great in that you can easily grind your way out of any issues, any brick walls, any roadblocks. If a boss is too tricky, leveling up a few times and crafting a better weapon will often let you ignore their patterns completely, and you can just completely cheese them and burn them down. This is probably the one to go for if you basically want to play Castlevania in the modern day. Speaking of Castlevania, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about Symphony of the Night. Some people don't like to include Castlevania and Metroid games as part of the Metroidvania subgenre. I completely appreciate that, but we have to talk about the games that inspired the entire genre, and Symphony of the Night is, I think, pretty much hands down the best of the bunch. I don't think you'll find many people who would argue that. If you ended up a little bit put off by how dated it is, just try any of the later entries. There's been loads and loads of updates to the Castlevania series, loads of collections, like the Sorrow series. Castlevania games, they're substantially easier than modern day Metroidvania games that tend to amp up either the platforming difficulty or the combat difficulty, or in some cases, quite a lot of cases, both. Symphony of the Night is just one of those games that you have to play at some point if you want to understand this genre and see why so many hundreds and hundreds of games were inspired by its brilliance. Guacamele. Now, this one is one of my personal favourites. The same thing can be said for Guacamele II as well. Action platformer that takes inspiration from Mexican folklore and culture and lucha libre wrestling, with wrestling being one of my other main passions as well. So this game was basically made for me. Guacamele is the perfect Metroidvania for anyone looking to jump into the genre for the first time. Its style makes it much less intimidating than a lot of the other games, and it's easy to fall in love with this game as you play. It is so charming, it's so funny, it's so silly, it's wacky. Any other word that you can think of to basically say that it's a bit zany. Some Metroidvanias can be quite daunting by default, with so many corners to discover, items to acquire, complete patience to master. With this one, you can relax a little bit more. The various abilities are so much fun to use. It's really, really accessible. The map is fantastic. The graphics are gorgeous. It's so bright and beautiful. I'm sure I would struggle to find anybody who doesn't enjoy this game. Ori and the Blind Forest. Now, it was only a matter of time before these games came up on the list. You're probably expecting them. I think most people who've played these games absolutely swear by them. Ori games, they're more about jumping and exploration and platforming than the actual battles, whereas some of the games in the list that I've mentioned have quite a bit of a combat focus. There are some hard parts in the Ori games, don't get me wrong. You can repeat them instantly instead of having to come back like loads of Metroidvanias that force you to go from a certain point back to the boss in the puzzle. It's got really quick kind of respawn and retry elements to it, which is something that I absolutely love. Games like Super Meat Boy do that incredibly well, where you die and you're straight back in the game, and that's what Ori does really well. It is a beautiful game, great story, amazing soundtrack. The environments and the scenery, whatever you want to call it, is genuinely breathtakingly good sometimes. The gameplay itself is fantastic. The characters are lovable and cute and cuddly, and then every now and then it just throws this little bit of darkness at you, and it's such a cool balance between the two. SteamWorld Dig 1 and 2, another couple of games that don't really get much they don't get much coverage. I very, very rarely see anybody talking about these games, even back when they came out. They sort of took me by surprise, I'll be completely honest. I played SteamWorld Dig 1 and I thought, yeah, this is pretty good. It sort of had that Borderlands effect about it, where Borderlands 1 was brilliant. Borderlands 2 came out, massively, massively improved on everything and was an incredible game. Then you go back and play the first game and think, wow, this isn't actually very good. SteamWorld Dig 1 and 2 sort of had that feel for me. The first game was very good. The second game is damn near perfect. They're not overly difficult games. They've got a great dig, loot, sell, upgrade feature to them, constantly going back to town and constantly building yourself up. It's a bit, in that sense, kind of a bit less of a Metroidvania in its systems and its features and its functions and its leveling up and all that kind of stuff. And it's got more of a roguelike feel to it. But what a great couple of subgenres to blend together. Metroidvania and roguelike. They go hand in hand. They work perfectly here. The first game's very linear, having you dig basically straight down until the end. The second game goes much harder on the Metroidvania aspect with the lack of non-linearity. Linearity? Is that a word? I'm going to make it a word. Much more to do in the second game. Loads of exploration. The map is really, really good. Really, really easy to understand. It's another game that's got loads of really quirky and charming and just fun, silly, weird characters. You will fall in love with this game really, really quickly after starting it. Sheipo. It will go largely ignored, and that's what makes the Tale of Sheipo so tragic. Fans of the Metroidvania genre, you got another prized title to add to the backlog here. Sheipo is immersive, detailed, full of like a whimsical charm that you rarely find in either AAA products or the indie scene. A lot of Metroidvania games tend to be darker. I think the genre just lends itself to dark, musky, underground caves and all that kind of sort of vibe. Sheipo understands what it wants to do, only goes as far as it needs to settle, allowing the player to be just as imaginative as the world provided, like wondrous, bizarre, most of all, addictively fun. There's a few minor points of contention in there. Like some of the environments are very, very similar to others. It's not the most varied of games and varied of settings, I guess. But this is honestly one of the most recommendable indie games of its type, of its genre, in a very long time for me. Went completely under the radar. It's another one that I got for free via PS Plus. It sort of sat in my backlog for months and months and months on end without me ever really paying any attention to it. One day I just thought, yeah, let's see what this is all about. I didn't stop playing it for about 3 or 4 days until I beat it 100%. It's really, really very good. You might not have even heard of Sheipo. I remember when I tweeted about it at the time, people were like, what on earth is Sheipo? It's really cool. It's really nice. It's got some cool ideas in there that are different to a lot of other Metroidvanias. There's loads of really cool and fun and interesting abilities. I really strongly, highly recommend this one. It's really, really accessible and just nice. This one, this is the big one for me, and it's a fitting one to end the list on. It's a pretty bold claim, and when I spoke about it on social media, some people, it raised eyebrows. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is the best Metroidvania game that I have ever played. I'm not saying it's the greatest of all time. I'm not saying that you have to agree with me and say that, it's better than Symphony of the Night or Bloodstained or Super Metroid or any of those. But for me, this is the best game in the entire genre. I was sort of took by surprise when it was announced. I didn't expect it. I saw that there was a new Prince of Persia game coming out, and I thought, oh, okay, great. I used to like these games on PS2. Didn't realise that it was the old style of Prince of Persia games, the Metroidvanias. Immediately piqued my interest. This game is just incredible. I could make an entire video just on how good this game is. It embraces its roots as a classic 2D platformer game, blends elements of Metroidvania and Souls-like genres, which isn't normally my sort of thing, but in this instance, it very much is. The game offers a pretty fair share of challenge, requiring you to master the timing of your attacks, parrying and more, and that's where the Souls elements come into it. But what sets it apart is its accessibility options. It really does cater to players of all skill levels. There's loads of areas in the game that are really difficult, but they are completely non-mandatory, completely optional. They're for people like me. They're for people like me who really want that challenge, who really want to be able to say, yeah, I did that unbelievable bit of platforming and got this really just pointless reward at the end of it that doesn't really help, but it's just so I can say that I did it. It really sets it apart. It really does. The ability to choose from various difficulty settings and customize options like your dodge window and your enemy health, it means that even less experienced players can tailor the game to their preferences, ensuring that everyone can enjoy the adventure regardless of their expertise and their experience in the genre. If you do one thing off the back of this video, if you play one game off the back of this list, please make it Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I think not too long ago it was put onto PS Plus. I don't know if it's still on there. I bought it day of release. It was like £35, so it wasn't even a full price game. I would have happily paid 2 or 3 times it. It's incredible. I am running out of words and superlatives to explain how pinpoint perfect this game is. It's gorgeous. The combat is brilliant. The platforming is so tight and so pinpoint accurate. There's no sliding. There's no, you know what I mean? When some games feel a little bit floaty, there's none of that. Every single ability that you unlock is fantastic. It's got a great progression and upgrade system. Some of the boss fights are absolutely insane. I think it was only like the 3rd boss fight made me think that I couldn't get past this game, that I wasn't going to beat it. I'm seriously going to have to consider doing a video about this game, even though it's a little bit older now, because it is that damn good. I hope this video has been helpful for some of you that might be new to the genre, or, like I said at the start, a little bit daunted by how many hundreds and thousands of Metroidvania games there are out there. If it has been helpful to you, please let me know. Drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know if you've played any of these games, if you share the same sentiments as I do about them. Let me know if this video has helped you to discover some new games. Let me know if you tried those new games now, and if you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, I'm more than happy for people to disagree and say that I'm stupid and wrong. But this list, I think, is a pretty exhaustive list of some of the best, most accessible, most enjoyable Metroidvania games for beginners. I hope it's been helpful. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to check out more videos like this in the very near future. Thank you ever so much, and take care.